So this is Math Minutes with Majan Minds, where we're reviewing skills you need for success in grade 12. Today's topic, writing linear equations. So you can see here an example of a linear graph. This particular graph has what we would call a gradient of 2 by negative 3. So we're going to say m is equal to 2 over negative 3. That could also be written as negative 2 over 3 if you wanted to start here and go down to right 3. That's often considered rise over run. Well, we also have a point here. The coordinates of this point is negative 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So negative 1 and 5. So what I'd like to be able to do is come up with an equation for this graph. The graph is nice, but if I can have an equation, that'll be more powerful. So any equation, any linear equation, can be written in this form. Now for some students this is a little complex or looks a little confusing. I like to write it like this, where each of these boxes needs to be filled in. Our equation is going to have an x and a y in it, but there's 3 boxes we need to be able to fill in order to write a linear equation. The first one I like to look at is this m. We just discussed over here that m is negative 2/3. So we just have to write here negative 2/3 brackets x minus something. And over here we're going to have y minus a y value. Well, what are these other 2 boxes? Well, this box is an x, that guy, and this box is a y, that guy. Now it doesn't have to be those 2. You could have done the exact same thing with this point here, which happens to be 2, 3, or this one, which is 4, 1. It doesn't matter. As long as that dot is on this line, it will work. So here we're going to take our 5, which is y, put it in the y spot. Take our minus 1, which is x, put it in the x spot. And if we simplify here by opening the brackets, we're going to get y minus 5 equals negative 2/3 x. That's going to become plus, and that's going to be minus 2 over 3. Now what I want to say is this is an acceptable form of an equation of this line that we have up here. This is an acceptable form of the equation of the line. In fact, we could, and when I say acceptable, I mean it's a true form. It doesn't mean it's the equation, the form that you might be asked for, but it is a form of the equation. Here we're going to add 5 to minus 2/3, which is adding 15 over 3 to that, which is going to give us 13 over 3. You could check that one on your calculator. Another thing I want you to see that you could do is there's lots of different ways you can write these equations. I don't particularly like to have a denominator of 3. So I'm going to multiply this side by 3 and this side by 3, and let's watch what happens. When I multiply this side by 3, I get 3y. When I multiply this side, this piece by 3, the 3 that I multiply by and that 3 will cancel, and I'll have minus 2x. And I multiply this piece by 3, I'm going to get 13. So I'm trying to show you there's lots of different ways we could write this. And in fact, if we wanted to, we could move this 2x over there, and we would have 3y plus 2x equals 13. And I could keep going. There's more and more and more ways to write these equations. Just depends on the question how you will write yours. Most important thing you need to see, all linear equations, if you have this form, you can just plug in the gradient, an x and a y, and you will get an equation of that line. If you found this video useful, go ahead and subscribe in the top left, and then head on over to majanminds.com to check out more videos and resources.